Hello guys. If you are coming from non-null safety language, you will be asking yourself, what is this null safety? It looks a little bit complex. But actually, let me remind you of something from the previous language you used, whatever it was. If you had a variable, let's call its name, and the value is null, and let's say it's a string. Forget about the error right now. I'm just trying to write like I'm writing from your previous language. And you try to access that variable, let's say to uppercase. What will happen here? Let's say you're using Java or um, any other language that does not support null safety. When you just run the app, after running the app will crash because the value is null. It will throw some error. But to fix this issue, there's something called null safety. So null safety, it will help you to prevent the errors that results from unintentionally accessing variable while it's null. So instead of getting a runtime error, crashing the app for user, while editing, it will tell you that this could be null and you must handle it. So let's look at name. This name. Let's say that this name I'll call AK. Okay. If we just print this name. Okay. So if you see here, everything is fine. Or okay, do you know what? Let's make it small. Then to uppercase. If you see here, this code is perfectly fine. Nothing bad can happen. It's just making the AK as uppercase. Okay, but what if it's null? Like let's say that I'll do some work which can result for name to be null. Okay, first, if you notice, like let's make it actually first this and then final, so we can change the value. So if you look right now, if we assign it to null, it will not work. The, like you'll get an error. So what this is one of the things will help you. Like if you see, it will tell you that this should always have a value. So what if you want to make it null? Then you can add the null operator. If you see now, it's okay to have null, but now we have another issue. If you see here, while we are calling to uppercase, it will tell us that this can be null. If you see here, the method, let's read the error. The method to uppercase can't be unconditionally invoked because the receiver can be null. So how can we fix it? Now there is a bad way to fix it and a good way to fix it. The bad way is to use the bang operator. If you see here, all good, or it look all good. But if we run, you'll notice one thing: app will crash. It will crash at runtime. So this is wrong. Like don't use this operator unless you are 100% that this will have value. And I think as you defined it, that can be null, you will not be really 100% that it will have value. So it's better to always check the value before that. Like just so how can we access it? If it's null, let's say if it's null, ignore this. So okay, let's remove this. We said this is bad, not that good. So how we can access it in a way that the app will not crash? We can add the question mark. If you add the question mark, then this will be ignored. So if we run the app again, so this is null, running on a null on it, it's still null, it's nothing. So this is the way, this is one way that you can access a variable, but we have also more ways. Okay, so if you also do this thing, you can say if name not equal null, then let's print. If you see, the error also went away. Why? Because it will check if it's not null, then print. So if we run the app again, nothing printed. Let's comment this and run again. Value printed. So as we said right now, we have multiple ways to actually, let's go unwrap the value. So one of them was this one, accessing using the bang operator or the question mark. So here app will crash if it's null. Here it will print null. Here it will not come inside because it will see that it's already null, so it will not print it. Okay, so this is the ways that you can access a null value. So if you see, like, we will be able to know if there is any error, any potential error at the time of editing the code, not at runtime. Users will not see that crash, this one, like the null exception. Users will not see it because we already handling these cases. We know that this is can be null, so we will handle it. And this is an amazing thing. Let's look in another way. Let's have another string, new name, and we want that to be non-nullable. So we can say name. But if you see here, we are getting an error. It's saying you can't assign optional string or nullable string to a string. So how we can fix that? So there's another way. We said you can do this, it's bad, you should not do it. You can add if around it, but you can't really do that. If you need to make this assign this as it is, this should be also optional. But there's another way. Let's say you have a default value. Like if this is null, you want to add something else, then you can do this. So what it will do, it will check this. If this is null, it will give this. If this is not null, it will give the name itself. Let's print and see. Let's print actually the new name. Yeah. Okay, let's print now. Let's comment this also and run. See, default. Why? Because name is null right now. But if we remove the null and run again, how we should remove this, because now this is not nullable, so we have to remove it. Let's run again. Okay, so it took the name. Okay, so so this is the way. If it's null, then if it's null, then it will take this. If it's not null, then it will take the name itself. So just to recap, we have multiple ways to access a nullable value. One of them is using the bang mark, which app will crash if it's null. The other way is to use the question mark, which it will check if this is null, this will not apply, it will just print null or use null. The third way is to check before using it. And like if we would like say which one is the good one, then I would say just use these two things, but this one avoid it, or use it whenever you are like 100% sure that this has value. Same thing, we have another thing. We have also, like, if you want to assign to another variable, or you need to do an operation like to give it a default value, then you can use the two question mark, and that also will replace this value if this is null. That's it, guys. I hope you like it and understand. If you have any question, just add a comment in the comment section, and I'll try my best to answer. So thank you, guys.